नमस्कार दर्शकबिन वचन न्युजमा यहाँहरूलाई स्वागत छ। म हुँ प्रस्तोता जीवन राय माझी। आज हामी छौँ ओबन पुलिस स्टेसनमा। हामी ओबन पुलिसका कमान्डरसँग घरेलु हिंसा भनेको के हो, यसका प्रकार कस्ता छन् र यसको प्रवृत्तिहरू कस्तो हुने गर्दछ र यसबाट समुदायलाई कसरी बचाउन सकिन्छ र पीडितहरूले कसरी उजुरी गर्न सक्छन् र यो विषयमा समुदायमा कसरी जनचेतनामूलक कार्यक्रमहरू चाहिँ हामीले प्रभावकारी गर्न सक्छौँ भन्ने विषयमा केन्द्रित रहेर यो घरेलु हिंसाको विरुद्धको अभियानमा चाहिँ हामीले ओबन पुलिसलाई हामीले समेट्ने प्रयास गरेका छौँ।
Hello and namaste everyone. I'm Sanju Khanal from Bachan News. I'm here to talk about domestic violence and how it's happening and what are the steps and policies that have been taken by the Oban police and also the rules of NSW. So I'll be talking with the commander of Oban police here about domestic violence and what are the steps they are applying or they are taking to control and to avoid the domestic violence, and further we will hear from the commander.
So my name's Superintendent Robert Toynton and I'm the commander of the Auburn Police Area Command. So one of the things that is very challenging for police in New South Wales and Australia is domestic violence. About 60% of the time that police spend in the community has some type of link to domestic violence. Now that's the same in Auburn, but it's also the same across the rest of Sydney and also to wider New South Wales and Australia. That's a considerable amount of time we spend dealing with people who are experiencing very challenging situations in their lives around domestic violence. One of the things that is very strong in Australia and New South Wales are the laws around domestic violence. Domestic violence legislation is extremely important because it protects people in relationships. One of the biggest challenges that people experience in their lives can be interpersonal conflict within a relationship. So, for example, between partners, between husbands and wives, between siblings, between people who live in shared accommodation or the same houses. So there's very strong legislation around what you can and can't do around domestic violence. One of the really exciting things about my police area command in Auburn is that we've got over 130 different cultures and different people from different parts of the world that have chosen Auburn to call home. Now what that brings is some challenges for the police because we deal with a number of different people, but one of the things that we find is that some people don't understand what the role of police is in the community, because some people might not trust the police. They might not know what police can do or what our responsibilities and role is in the community. So one of the things that we need to do is we need to educate people within the community that we're here to help. Police can be trusted in Australia and New South Wales, and in particular Auburn, we're very, very aware that a lot of people might have challenges around their language. English might not be something that they're confident in speaking, and they might feel a lot more comfortable speaking in their native tongue or the language that they grow up with. So we're very aware of this in the New South Wales Police, and we spend a lot of time coming up with different ways in which we can communicate. So one of the things that we will do, if you come to the police station to report any crime or domestic violence, or you need to speak to the police and you're not able to communicate with us freely in English, we will make arrangements for an interpreter who can come and assist you communicate with the police. So this is a service that we provide to make sure that you're heard, that we understand what you're trying to tell us, but also too it's about making sure that when you're reporting crimes or you're reporting things to the police is that your voice is heard. So some of the challenges we experience is under-reporting of domestic violence. Because people might not understand what the laws are in Australia and New South Wales, so we need to make sure that they understand that domestic violence in any form is unacceptable. Now, what is domestic violence? Domestic violence can be an assault, it can be intimidation, it can be controlling behaviour which we call coercive control, where someone might not allow someone access to their family, they might not allow access to money. So there's a number of things a number of very strong laws in New South Wales which support people in relationships. Now that's one of the big challenges is people understanding what the laws are in Australia. So some of the things that New South Wales Police do is to try and educate local communities on the way it works in Australia, in New South Wales. Now, one of the things New South Wales Police have developed in the last couple of years is an app that you can get on your phone. It's called the Empower You app. Now, what this app is available on the App Store through Google or through Apple. And what it does, it gives information to people in the community around domestic violence. So if you're experiencing domestic violence, this app is a great resource to help you through a very challenging situation in your life. Now, what I like about the app, that is very important to people in the local Auburn community, for example, is the app has got access to services in our local community. In Auburn, for example, there is links within the app which will be able to put people in touch with support services which can help them at a local level. Now, the app also gives you, is able to contact with the police, it's able to contact with your some friends. If you're experiencing a domestic violence incident, it's got a number of different functions which can support you. But the one I really want to emphasise today is that domestic violence is a very challenging time in someone's life. And what people really need in those challenging times is support. They need support from the police, but they also need support potentially with housing, perhaps a refuge where someone might need to go for a short period of time to escape an abusive relationship. Or there's a number of other different resources that are in the community that you might not know about that can assist you in a very challenging time. So this app, the Empower You app, gives you that access to all these support services that are available in your local community. Now, this is not just for Auburn, this is across New South Wales. So it doesn't matter where you live in Sydney or in different parts of New South Wales in regional areas, the app has got local resources available at the touch of a button to be able to get that link to those resources. So one of the things that we find with the police is about education. It's about letting people know what is out there and what resources. So how do you know where this app exists? So what we've done in Auburn in the last 2 months is we've launched a project where we're trying to publicise the use of the Empower You app. So we've partnered with a number of different agencies, religious venues like mosques and churches and temples. We've also partnered with a number of hospitals and local businesses in the Auburn area to place signs in the windows of their shops or their buildings. And what these signs do, they've got a link through a QR code to the Empower You app. So if you see these signs around the Auburn area, you can get your phone and you can scan the QR code, and that will give you access to the app. So you don't have to go searching for it, and it will give, once you download it, you'll have access to all those resources I was talking about before. So this has been an incredible project that we've had running for the last 2 months. More businesses and more public places are coming on board with the project to help us spread the news or the message that domestic violence is unacceptable in any form, and the police and the community are there to support people who are experiencing one of the most challenging times in their lives.
We are in the end of our conversation. So with the commander, I would like to know, what are the challenges you have faced about collecting the domestic violence cases? You can conclude with that, and how do you feel about talking about this topic?
One of the challenges is about people reporting to us. We want people to report domestic violence to the police because we need to know about it. So my message is, if you're unsure, give us a call or come to the station. And have a talk with us about what's going on, and then we can help you. So I'm very passionate about providing support to our local community here at Auburn. We, as the police, we're part of the community. We work and sit within the community, not on the outside of it. So we're all very passionate here about protecting our community, about protecting victims of domestic violence, because it's unacceptable in any version. So. We take it very seriously, and we do spend a lot of time talking about and educating people on domestic violence. So it's a really important issue for us, and we'll keep doing our best to reduce it in our community, but we need the community's help.
Okay. Thank you, Commander, for your valuable time and for the information you have given. I hope people would understand what the domestic violence is and how they can report to the domestic violence and how their rights are protected. So use your rights and be safe. Thank you.
घरेलु हिंसाको बारेमा भन्नुपर्दाखेरि घर घरमा हुने हिंसा चाहिँ समुदायमा नबढोस् र समुदायबाट बढेर राष्ट्रमा त्यसले चाहिँ विकराल रूप नलियोस् र यस्ता अपराधहरू निस्तेज हुन् र यस्ता अपराधबाट मानव समाज बाँचोस् र मानव जीवनको रक्षा होस् भन्ने हेतुले हामीले यो वचन न्युज मार्फत घरेलु हिंसालाई चाहिँ एउटा जघन्य अपराध हो, यसलाई चाहिँ हामीले घरबाट समाजबाट यसलाई चाहिँ अभोइड गर्नुपर्छ, यसलाई चाहिँ निष्क्रिय पार्नुपर्छ र यसको रोकथामको लागि हामीले पनि अनि निरन्तर कलम चलाउनुपर्छ, निरन्तर आवाज उठाउनुपर्छ भनेर हामीले यहाँका प्रहरी लगायत लोकल अरू अन्य समुदायका मानिसहरूसँग मिलेर पनि हामीले यो अभियानहरू थालेका छौँ। अनि यो अभियान चाहिँ साझा अभियान हो, सबैका लागि हो। अनि यो अभियान चाहिँ वचन न्युजले यहाँहरूको लागि अनि गरिराखेको छ। अनि हामीलाई आशा छ यो कार्यक्रमलाई यहाँहरूले मन पराइदिनु हुनेछ, यो अभियानलाई साथ दिनुहुनेछ र अवश्य पनि हाम्रो कम्युनिटी लगायत सबै कम्युनिटीका मानिसहरू यस्तो प्रकारको अपराध गर्नबाट बाँच्नेछन् र अपराधीहरू पीडकहरू चाहिँ कानुनी दायरामा आउनेछन् र पीडितहरूले न्याय पाउनेछन् भन्ने हामीले आशा गरेका छौँ। अनि यो चाहिँ हाम्रो प्रयास हो जो चाहिँ तपाईँ र म मिलेर अर्थात् हामी मिलेर मात्र अनि यो कुरा सफल गर्न सक्छौँ, यो अभियानलाई सार्थकता अर्थात् पूर्णता दिन सक्छौँ। हेर्दै रहनु होला वचन न्युज। नमस्कार।